Samurai, protectors of the daimyo, disciplined and proud warriors of the past, revered by all and devoted to their cause. These medieval soldiers lived a fragile, sincere and honest code that was later known as Bushido, the way of the warrior. From the early 12th century, the samurai protected with honour and devout dedication to all aspects of their lives. Until their dismantling in the late 19th century, many tales have and continue to be told from such a rich tapestry. Their skill made them a legend, yet their honour made them strong. The only thing more terrifying than a samurai seeking revenge is a ghost of one not yet ready to rest. Japan and its history holds a special place in many of our Western hearts. From my childhood love of martial arts, Asian history, blend of grace and violence, a largely alien yet intoxicating culture has inspired art, fashion, movies, music and more. Ghost of Tsushima is a game that absolutely ticks those boxes. You play as Jin Sakai, one of the last samurai to exist in this eastern land of the Tsushima Island. Without the aid of the other samurai to make this a simple cruise, it falls upon you to undermine and ultimately prevent the Mongol invasion of your homeland. This violent attack comes early in the game with our protagonist ready for battle, outnumbered and yet defiant in the face of overwhelming odds. And as the story unfolds, you are left lost and without hope for what may come. And as everyone loves an underdog, you set out to have one more day in the sun and seek to stop those invading barbarians. Now what unfolds is a breathtaking adventure that crafts exquisite artistic flair from such a rich historical canvas and naturally captivating countryside. The characters you meet along your journey share a like-minded ambition to help your plight. No matter the history, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Voice acting is delivered with conviction for the main characters across English and Japanese choices, but the way I played and how I've always watched foreign language films where possible is with the Japanese dub, with Jin's voice superbly by Kazuya Nakai, a star in anime movies from Ghost in the Shell and most famously One Piece. He has appeared in movies and games for decades, but this role is perfect for him and he excels. The powerful and at times jingoistic language simply adds power and presence to each and every scene.
もし叔父上がいれば、このようなこと決してそのままにはいたしませぬ。お力を、しかる後ご一族の仇を。
いいだろう。一人をな。幾日もかけて己など野犬どもの餌にしてくれるわ。
殺してはいけない。主を吐かせねば。
This is equally true of the other actors in Misako, who also stands out with great anger and frustration heard in her voice. Jin's English voice actor in Datsuki Chai delivers an equally compelling soul, and during my second playthrough I'm enjoying the change of mood and nuance he brings.
Alone?
Keep the path clear. When I find Lord Shimura, we'll need a quick escape.
I'll get the horses ready.
Do it. If I'm not back soon, ride for the forest.
Now the mix of smooth cinematic direction, simply top tier colour use and tone mapping to lighting, direction and artistry is the most impressive, moving and flowing foliage this side of a David Bellamy documentary. It delivers a meld of gobsmacking serenity, all dramatic and emotional scenes. The ensembled cast of characters are excellent by and large, with it being so story character focused, this is a good thing. Now not all scenes, moments or plot devices work, but then again, this is not unique to games, movies or TV. I did enjoy the quality and detail in the side quests, and due to the benefits they bring to your character's skills as you scavenge the land, learn new stances, attacks and much more, it really sucks you in to be better and is worth your time. Content wise, the game is absolutely packed with so much to do, see and explore. Any potential Game Plus mode would be an absolute treat. Now, the combat here is the star. Rarely has the sheer speed, precision and ferocity of sword combat been captured and delivered so competently. Even from the start you feel a step above your enemies, but that confidence is ill-placed. As quick as you can cut someone down with a death slice of your katana, you can equally be as mortified yourself. You quickly learn the art of a good offense is a strong defense. Parry and evade, block and counter, anticipate your foe, use stealth at times, use your surroundings. The dual option is simply incredible, and later on as you skill up, it has a duality of impact on your enemies and your own confidence. This, along with all the other elements of the game itself, the combat, the mechanisms, the weapons you use and the skills, this mode mixed with the included Akira Kurosawa black and white stylized cinematic mode, paying homage to his visionary director of Seven Samurai and many more, which I'll cover later in the video. Few games make the hairs stand on end. It really captures the old western style standoff between two warriors, and the intensity and fragility of the battle affects all around you. It never gets old using it at the start of battles to gain the upper hand and strike fear into your enemies' minds. This is the single biggest redeeming feature of the title. The combat draws you back again and again. It drives you to be better, it drives you to practice harder, and it drives you to learn the additional skills and all the extra functionality they open up, which again I can't show you here. But the whole fundamental point of this is every element works intrinsically well against the combatants. You have to change stances, you learn new stances, and the two ones that I can show you here are the ones important to move between swords and shields. And the combat and the slow of time when you use those and flick between the two can generate some absolutely gorgeous and dramatic moments, and that, accomplished with the sound effects and the music, makes it a real treat not only to play but also to watch. But the depth to it is much more. I am limited here in what I can actually show you, but you learn new stances, new skills, dual weapons, and you combine those with all those techniques to become a serious threat. My advice is play it on hard, as easy is just too easy most of the time, but it does get much harder later in the game, and you also need to invest time in it. It slowly builds up your repertoire, which clicks with you, and after a while it becomes effortless and efficient in battle, just as you should be as a samurai. Enemies growing to fear, engaging you, running away, and it all looks and feels so satisfying and damn cool to play that sometimes I find myself just playing the same section again to perfect it. What makes Tsushima so enthralling and engaging is the sheer beauty and variety it offers across your adventure. From the adaptively tessellated rocks straddling river edges, or the excellent use of limited parallax occlusion mapping with self-shadowing on rocks and footprints, the blossom of flowing grass and particle leaves stretching off into the distance, time and time again you'll be galloping through a bamboo forest or admiring a mountain view down to the coast below. Scale and density is the key here, from the artistic design and technical implementation. Backing this up is the time of day system, which looks to be built within image-based lighting probes that pre-bake set times of day and weather conditions to enable a smooth blend of light propagation across the moonlit castle grounds to the sun-drenched cherry blossom fields. The E3 2018 gameplay demo had even the most revered tech site screaming PS5, and as impressive as that draw distance was, it was complemented with swaying foliage and dense construction. I can now confirm this is all delivered on the Pro as expected, with a base PS4, some of it shown here, doing an equally impressive job of delivering that quality with reduction in resolution and some other effects I cover in my head-to-head and performance video. The scenery, details and polygonal construction is the core sacrifice though. Rocks, trees, grounds, huts and even characters and fingers can sometimes exhibit reduced triangle density when observing within macro detail. The minor sacrifice here is more than compensated for by the amount of alpha transparency, animated foliage and deep draw distance the engine now offers. Real photographic scans of trees and leaves were employed by the team when visiting Tsushima Island. These granular details are combined perfectly and hidden within imposter blends to alpha sprites, meaning your horse carries you through one of the richest and most natural looking sceneries we have seen this generation, with a next gen level of draw distance often at times. Storms explode into the distance, boats arrive offshore, trees sway miles below you with an amazing sense of realism and beauty. You will spend a good deal of your gameplay time admiring this exquisite isle, taking photos from the incredible photo mode, which leaves the world active and the characters static. I'm looking forward to seeing just what delights the community will craft with such a rich base of colours and blank canvas to visualise. It is one of the most awe-inspiring and interactive environments in games, creating a stunning view of feudal Japan from horseback or mountain top. The use of cascaded shadow maps add lots of depth to the outdoor areas, with a percentage closer filter being applied to the nearest cascaded range to soften the edges as you draw closer. This also appear to be in effect at certain times of day, giving the close objects a sharp edge and then further away that soft penumbra. It looks good to enhance details and soften the maps within a close range. It is quite pedestrian as a technique, but consistent with the early 2018 demo footage I covered back then. This is all complemented by screen space shadows and ambient occlusion, and wrapped up with screen space reflections delivers a very competent and grounded looking world at all times, with that self-shadowing grass really standing out and adding that visual appeal consistently. All these combinations of materials, techniques and natural movement create the most impactful character of the game that rarely looks anything but stunning. Now, sound has also been a core complement, with Sucker Punch's focus here, from recording birds, wildlife, trees and screams to the distant sound of thunder or screaming warrior cries of battle. It is a game that benefits hugely from a 7.1 system, as it is such a natural and ambient soundscape. From the deep thud of your horse's hoofs galloping across dirt to the clink of swords as you crisscross in battle, every sound is authentic and signature. Now, this level of care is also heaped on the Kurosawa mode, as the scape is shifted again, with a higher treble, much reduced bass to emulate the sound of an older mono television. And it's a convincing emulation. Treble is increased, bass is reduced, all sounds are merged into one single channel, along with a touch of distortion and reverb is consistent across screams and footsteps. This is complete with film grain scratches and a washed out luminance level to enhance the blacks. I love the care and design to the subject matter, and this mode only strengthens that even more. My only recommendation was to make it absolutely perfect would be to add a red blood mode mapping to stand proud of the black and white image, much like the Spielberg classic as he mimicked in his Schindler's List. No game or film is complete without a soundtrack. It is 50% of the experience at least, and as you've just heard during this video, it is absolutely top tier. High priority is given to roaring and moving score that hits many beats throughout your playtime, truly rousing moments that gets your heart pumping. The model of Jin and other main characters is brilliant. Facial expression and high bone rigs offer subtle emotions in dialogue. These are mixed with the core story segments and side quests displaying a much more rigid vertex blends to accompany the dialogue. Lesser characters can also look weaker than the main, which is common in games, but skin tone, subsurface scattering and moonlight to the orange GI bounce from the autumn leaves to pained anguish under bright sunlight. It is a step up from Second Son. Now this is also true of the combat animation. Never has the focus on gameplay been so core in terms of how that animation is played out and balanced. Jin's footwork is a sight to behold. The combat must surely be based on hours of motion capture from some talented martial artists. This is then mixed into a vast moveset of efficient and explosive action with context-aware elements heaped in. The quick backstep from a crowd as you walk in, or the way your stance shifts and your head tracks the nearest threat as you change your guard, to the leg sweep as you slice through people, and the perfect parry to open up your enemy. These get better as you learn more and get more in tune with you. Dodge an arrow, slip into an upward slice from your water stance, stab and push people away with your feet, to wiping your blade clean before rubbing and rolling over your fingers into the sheath. Be it the Tonto blade for stealth or the katana for battle, each movement is matched perfectly with your enemies. But it's also where most of the errors and glitches arise. There's lots of kinematic issues here, there's lots of glitching, bugs out. It's an open world game, so do expect to see some funky moments every now and then. There are patches coming that do not break the game, but there are some comical moments occasionally, and this is common of open world games. But it is one of those trade-offs for having such a dynamic and physics-based combat system as this. The real-time cinematics really show off the graphics and engines well, with that gorgeous particle system matched with bokeh circle shaped doff, and a raised facial capture always makes them a joy to watch. The main benefit is the dramatic light placement and tone mapping, which amplifies the scene and mood, which, very much like the game, uses a selection of set tones from dark blue nights, bright red sunsets, orange tinted skies, or lush green forests. Rarely has a game captured so many in-game random moments that look like they were made from a cutscene. It's the camera position and light use of post-processing employed that delivers a crisp and sharp image with an excellent temporal AA solution that leaves shimmer almost invisible. Another minor gripe is the time of day and weather system can move far too fast. Sometimes you can be standing in a cloudy nighttime setting and then it just goes straight to daytime. It would be good if the team were working on bugs would actually just reduce these timescales so it prolonged the blend between one time of day and the other, and it looked far more natural. But this is a minor gripe for a game that looks so stunning again and again and again. There are weaker areas, there are areas where there's no collision at all, there are areas where some of the objects don't look as high detail, some of the texture quality can be weak, but then, like I say, this is really nitpicking in a game this big, this vast, running on a 5.5GB console made in 2013. And no matter the small glitches, the bugs and the issues, it is an absolutely exceptional game from both an artistic and a gameplay point of view, and for that, I give it a big thumbs up. Anyway, that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed this detailed look at Ghost of Tsushima. You can also check out the performance and how the two versions differ in my performance analysis. But for now, I'm out. Like Jin, I'm going to disappear into the darkness or split like a skull.